Hey, it is good to be home. I did a full reset. Cleaned up my face, shaved off all the hairs, got my hair cut when I was over in Clarksville. Went to Bo's. If you're ever in the Fort Campbell area, go to Bo's Barbershop. They do a good job over there. But, oh man, it is good to be home. You don't realize how much you miss it till you're away from it for just a little bit. It was 1 week I was gone, and driving back into my driveway was like coming into heaven. But now I am on my way. I just figured I'd do this quick little video. I hope the sound is okay. I got my window rolled down. It's 59 degrees and sunshine with some little bit of clouds. It's like perfect. I couldn't make a better day than this if I tried. So I'm hoping that the sound is okay with the windows rolled down and a little bit of air blowing in, but got some bumps on the road. We got a dirt road. But I just thought I'd do a little quick video to let y'all know I'm back home. I'm going right now. I'm going into town. Gonna be picking up some bags of cement mix, pouring that into the cinder blocks. The corners that I set before I left are really good. They set perfectly. And so I just got to fill the rest of that in. I laid out my 2x6 on the top of them just to make sure that those fit like they're supposed to. So I just got to cut off a couple little ends, inch here, inch there, to make sure they all fit all the way around, but they cover it nicely with my my J bolts or anchor bolts, however you want to call those. Set those into the concrete as I pour it into the blocks and all that. But yeah, something I did want to talk about, and I haven't done this before. I don't know if I'll do many of these, but I do feel like I should for this one. So this is going to be a little bit longer, a little bit more talking about the world at large. We moved out to Central Maine because we love it out here. We found this. It was just a little gem, a little beautiful place where we can do what we want to do. We're not doomsday preppers. We're not end of the world conspiracy theory or any of those things. I do find a lot of validity in a lot of those different things that people have to say out there. And I think that it is important to be aware. So I figured I'd do a quick little video, just kind of talk about awareness from my perspective. That going back down to Georgia, we were just outside of the Atlanta area. We had to drive through Atlanta, Clarksville, Fort Campbell area, seeing that density, that population, how much that area is just so congested, right? Even if you don't care about, the potential for economic collapse or the potential for extreme social upheaval or unrest, right? If you're not even worried about those, you're like, I don't give a shit about that. Just look at how much congestion and how much of a headache it is to be in that. It's not good for your freaking soul, you know what I mean? Like, it's not good for your psyche, your general mental health and well-being. It's not good, at least not for me. But the other thing is, and this is what, 20 years in the Army, we always did risk assessments. We always talked about situational awareness. We always talked about preparedness. Not just for that horrible, terrible thing that might happen, but everything we did, right, when it came to operations in the Army, everything was about risk assessment and being prepared, planning ahead, and trying to mitigate the risks, eliminate unnecessary risk, and then you take those necessary risks with the understanding of risk versus reward. And you knew, okay, I'm doing this and I'm taking these risks because I need to. There's a good reason, right? Risk versus reward makes sense. It is a valid risk to take in order to accomplish this mission. And I've approached life in that same way. I plan, I think things through, I consider the risks, I do my best to eliminate unnecessary risk and mitigate any other risks that I can mitigate. And then I take that risk assessment sort of even in my own head. I'm not writing it down like we did in the Army. I don't have to take it to the commander to get it signed off if it's a higher risk level or nothing like that. I make the decision between me and Mrs. Howell, and we say, yeah, you know what? Let's do it. This is worth it. We take our precautions. We implement our risk mitigations, and we go and do what we got to do because it's worth doing. And I think there's a lot of people out there, and if the shoe fits, wear it. I don't have a ton of followers or a lot of people on my page, so most of you probably, you may not fall into this category, as a blanket statement, but there could be aspects of life that we all can take from this and make some adjustments. And that is, just don't go through life ignorant, right? I think it's easy to be comfortable in life and just kind of float through without assessing the risks, without assessing the situation, without really taking a look around and saying, hey, what am I doing? Why am I doing it? Am I doing it in a way that mitigates my risk? If it's something that I don't have to do, why am I doing it? If it is something I have to do, what can I do to make sure that A, I eliminate risk or mitigate the risk, but B, improve my chances for success, right? Because reducing the risk also increases the likelihood of success. And so I just wanted to say that, you know what I mean? If it's nothing else than just you going, okay, whatever, dude, and then you click on the next video, that's fine. But if somebody hears this and actually takes it to heart, or says, wait a second, what are you talking about? What is this risk assessment thing you're talking about? I don't understand. Leave a comment, ask the question. I'll go into more detail about it. I'll talk more about what I think or why I do certain things the way I do it. Roll up that window. I feel like that little bit of wind was maybe a little bit more than we want on this camera or hitting the microphone. But if you're not interested and you don't want to talk more about that, that's fine too. I don't mind. I'm not looking to start a whole channel just talking about that, but I'm more than happy to do it. We are where we are. I went back and saw other friends. You saw I was with my brother John there. He had some of his friends down in the area. I had some of my old Army buddies that I knew for years, hadn't seen them for a long time. And some of them are doing great things. Some of them are just kind of floating along, looking around at other people in the area, talking to the barber when I was getting my hair cut. And the barber was like, wow, you're really doing stuff. Like, that's stuff that most people just talk about, and you're doing it. And I didn't really think about it that way, but I guess it's true. A lot of people talk about wanting to do what we're doing, but they never actually do it. So I just figured I would bring this up to say, bottom line, be intentional about your decisions, right? Whether it's because you're worried about the state of our society, our economy, the crime or any other thing out there, food instability. There's all these different things that people worry about. But realistically, you don't have to worry about these things if you take it piece by piece, you think about it, you do your risk assessment, implement the actions that you need to take in order to set you and your family up for success. And that's exactly what I think everybody should be trying to do in this day and age. And I mean, it's something that has always been. I mean, I joined the Army 23 years ago. And they were talking about these same principles, these same basic concepts of being prepared for the mission, whatever the mission might be, right? Doing your risk assessment, doing your inventory, making sure your equipment was all up to standards, making sure that not only did you have what you needed, but that you know how to use what you have, right? That's a whole other thing. I can talk more and more about that. It's a very important aspect. That's part of what we've been doing here for the last 3 years is kind of putting things into practice and doing it. We planned for quite a while, and then when the time came to execute, we executed, and we're here doing these things that we're doing, and we're proving to ourselves that we can. We're making adjustments as we go to constantly improve our skill set that we have, and our setup, our tools, our equipment, our location, right? All those things have to be tweaked and adjusted as you go. So if this is something you care about or something you think about, and you're thinking to yourself, I want to know how this works. I want to understand how your crazy mind is working, right? Because I've never been accused of being normal. It doesn't hurt my feeling when people say that I'm crazy or I'm doing something off the wall or whatever. That's fine. I'm good with that. But I do have a purpose, right? Method to the madness. So with that being said, if y'all want to hear more about this kind of stuff, let me know. Put a comment down there. If you have questions or something you want me to talk about, I can give you my perspective. I do not claim to be a master, expert, anything, but I do have a lot of experience in a lot of different ways, a lot of different places, a lot of different areas of life that I'll tell you my thoughts. I'll give you my input. I'll give you my opinions. And I'm pulling into a parking lot and I'm trying not to run into somebody. But let me know. We'll see you on the next one. Bye.